When I say the word superhero, what goes through your mind? On average, you might say a symbol of hope, a beacon of justice, someone who fights for good, which would be correct because traditionally heroes fight for what's right, and most importantly, they fight for us. But we never really consider what it must feel like, how terrifying it must be for the bad guys to have to go up against people with sometimes otherworldly powers who are willing to do them the worst way possible. But you know what's even more terrifying than that? Going against someone that's doing it for the love of the game. You know, whenever I'm online scrolling and whatnot and I see the memes of Batman putting folks in pretzels for jaywalking or putting soda in a water cup, I kind of laugh because as bad as that sounds and as bad as that would be to have to deal with, if I had a choice between dealing with any version of Batman versus Robin, specifically this Robin, I am picking Batman every single time. But before I show y'all how deranged this nigga is, let's break down his appearance and scan his badges. First off, anybody willing to step outside looking like a walk-in traffic stop does not give a flying fuck about that external shit. He's here to handle business. Them tights probably smell like straight ass. And I'm also willing to bet that that tight ass top probably has underarm stains too, but I can guarantee you he does not care. This is the Kevin Durant of superheroes in terms of appearance. No cut, no drip, just buckets, or in Robin's case, hands. And another thing, bruh, the Teen Titans are all very cracked individuals in their own respect. But not only is Robin a member of that team, he's the fucking leader. To put into perspective how crazy that is, Starfire shoots energy beams and can fly. Cyborg is literally a human transformer, if that makes sense. Raven is a master of the dark arts, and Beast Boy, you know, that's self-explanatory. Robin's power is literally just being a crazy ass white boy. Allow me to display. So the first episode of the show is him kind of rounding up the group and them joining forces, but it starts with him fighting with Starfire, and when you look at the matchup on paper, you'd think she wiped his shit, but no, he was going toe to toe with her. The entire fight itself is not what I'm talking about right now, but look at this right here, right? This is a metal pole. I think it's titanium, I'm not sure. He clocks her with it, knocks her back like 40 feet into a car, I might add, and it shatters. And this is not a comically large pole or a heavy one or anything like that. This is like the size of a walking cane or like them sticks them old people be walking with. Like, do you understand how strong you have to be able to do that? Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. That's pretty tame. That's more of a Starfire feat. And to that I say, check this next one out. So now they're fighting Cinderblock, a very large foe who I also might add is made up of solid concrete. Starfire, with her superpowers and all, I think she also has super strength. She goes in for a kick against him and it does virtually nothing. Cinderblock doesn't feel a fucking thing. But here comes this thug. He flies in out of nowhere, kicks him in the exact same spot that Starfire did, and knocks him back like 20 feet. And actually, now that I think about it, there was another point in this fight where he literally lifted him off the ground. The only possible explanation for this is him having the super serum. There's nothing else that could possibly explain this. Now, before we get to the main example, let me show y'all this clip right here. The whole show, Slade had him in the blender, but this specific clip right here, they run up on some clones, and remember what I said about the others in the group. They are all cracked out of their mind, individually. Each one of them could have handled a good amount of these clones by themselves. But this sicko makes them look like the 2007 Cavs supporting cast. He was canceling out all of their special attack animations, all because he seen the face of his nemesis. Literally throwing niggas across the room after disfiguring them. He was putting in so much work that he had the other Titans genuinely concerned for his mental well-being, but what they don't realize is that their friend, their leader, is casually just fucking insane. Moving on. So this last clip is from the movie. You know, they had to go to Tokyo, right? And they eventually run into these ink soldiers and shit, and they deal with that. But anyway, this is one of his very first encounters with them. He's just chilling and he gets attacked by one of them, and when the smoke clears, the ink soldier peeps who he just threw the bomb at and is like, oh fuck. Robin, on the other hand, doesn't know who they are, doesn't know what they are, and doesn't even know why they're there. All he knows is that he just found his next victim. Ink Boy tries flying away, but Robin is like, nah, son. Throws some shit at him and messes with his jetpack, and he falls like 20 stories down. Now, any normal person would think that's enough to kill somebody, right? But Robin is different. He's not like us in a way. Instead of just calling it a day, this nigga does the Kevin Gates emote of hell from like 200 feet in the air. Like, no troll, he actually does not have a single reason to be doing all this. And mind you, he has steel toe boots specifically for these types of situations, right? And he still chose to go ACL first. That man does not give a fuck about life. This is a young nigga with a cape, and this is why I'm choosing Batman right here. Because as crazy as Bruce be getting sometimes, Batman is not doing all this. The ink soldier is literally begging for his life. And there is not an ounce of mercy in this man's face, in his heart, or in his soul. He was trying to kill that nigga. Anyway, somehow he survived it, but when they start fighting again, I ain't gonna lie, Splatoon was low-key fucking him up. He even managed to rip his suit and his mask a little bit, but when that happens, Robin was like, hold the fuck on. The pink soldier realizes that Robin just activated his takeover and he tried to book it. So what does Robin do? Robin throws a bomb at a billboard in the direction that the ink soldier was running to, and the blowback from said bomb causes the soldier to fall back into Robin's direction. Robin uses this and spears him into said billboard, which falls at minimum 100 feet into the street. And not only is Robin completely uninjured from the impact, the soldier clearly is, and yet he is still punching the shit out of him. So much that he actually ends up killing him dead in the middle of Shibuya Scramble. Shibuya Scramble is like the most popular crosswalk street in Tokyo. It's always crowded with people. It's never not empty, meaning that he just scarred the lives of at minimum 5,000 people. And only after he does that, somebody finally has the decency to put this demon in jail. Now, as far as who arrests him and what happens after he gets arrested, we're not going to talk about that because that's not the point, but yeah, it's right here. Very unhinged individual. And in my personal opinion, the reason nobody talks about it as much as it should be talked about is because the version of Robin that followed is like a complete 180 from his character in the original show. And it's more recent and it's been airing for longer, so chances are if you're thinking about Robin and you're not over the age of like 17, 18, you're probably thinking about the one with baby hands who gets treated like shit, and not the nigga that froze a girl and then shattered her frozen body into dust, effectively killing her. But yeah, that's my rant for the week. I'll catch y'all next time.